Good morning, everyone, and welcome to day 2 of our digital learning. This is still week 1, but we're on day 2, Tuesday, March 17th. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Woohoo! So we're going to do a couple things today. Miss Cannon has already made a math video for you, so that should be showing up on the YouTube channel soon. What I'm going to go over right now, we're going to go over the reading comprehension one more time. If you need to hear the passages read, again, go back to the video from yesterday, because they're the exact same passages. I read them to you on the video yesterday, both of them. And so we're going to continue with answering the questions today. I'm going to read you the questions, we'll talk about it for a few minutes, and then you can get started. Remember, this is not something that you have to complete right now. You don't have to complete all 4 days. If you want to, that's great, but you don't have to. So we're just going to be talking about the questions for today. I might go ahead and talk about Wednesday and Thursday too, just so you'll have it all in one video and you won't have to keep going back and forth. But it's pretty straightforward stuff. It's a lot of practice that we've already done. Sorry, I know this makes a weird sound. Let me move it. Okay, so remember we talked about these two stories, these two folk tales, okay? Why the Bear Has a Stumpy Tail, and there's a folk tale from Norway, and we talked about Clever Mrs. Fox, which is a folk tale from India. Again, if you need to hear those read again, go back to the video from yesterday. But these are the questions you should have answered for yesterday. We're going to be looking at these today. This is for Tuesday, and then I will go ahead and I'll talk about the rest of the questions, and then you can just keep going back to this video if you need it. So, for Tuesday, March 17th, after you've read or listened to the passages again, let's think about what it's asking us here. From what point of view are both stories being told? Point of view. Who's telling the story? That's what we're wanting to know. From what point of view are both stories being told? So that's what you're going to need to write here. Who are the characters in Clever Mrs. Fox? Looking for the characters for that second story that we read. What problem does the fox have, and why the bear has a stumpy tail? We need to find the problem in that first passage, okay? What is the problem there? Think about what's the solution as well. How is the fox's problem in the first story different from the fox's problem in the second story? So, the fox has a problem in both folk tales, but they're different. We need to say, how is the fox's problem different in both stories? So that's what you're going to need to write here. Okay? Do your best to write in complete sentences. Make sure you have capital letters, you have punctuation. Your mom and dad can read it for you, make sure it makes sense, but those are going to be your questions for today. They're pretty straightforward. There's only 4 of them. So if you have any questions or aren't sure what it's asking you, please let me know. Dojo me or email me and I can help you out with that. So like I said, I'm going to go ahead and read the questions and go over the questions for Wednesday and Thursday. That way you don't have to have a bunch of different videos. You can just keep going back to this one for the reading. So let's take a look for tomorrow if you're working on it, or today if you're deciding to. We're going to need to determine the meaning of the word slunk in the story. So you need to find this word slunk and tell me, what does it mean? What does it mean in that story? Based on the evidence, what do these cultures believe to be true about foxes? So here's where you're going to have to use evidence from the stories. These 2 stories are from 2 very different cultures, okay? This first one that we read was from Norway, and the second story was from India. 2 very different countries, very different cultures, or very different people. Based on the evidence from these stories, what do these cultures believe to be true about foxes? So what do they both believe foxes have in common? Think about it that way. What do both of these cultures, based on the stories, what do they believe foxes have in common? Why did the bear agree to not take all of the fox's fish? And you're going to have to go back and read that in the story. You can use these passages, underline them, highlight them, use colors, whatever you need to do, whatever is going to help you to answer these questions. You know, that's a strategy that we've used in class a lot, is highlighting and underlining things so that you know exactly where the answer is in the passage. You can use that same strategy with these. These are your passages. Do what you want with them. And then the last one for tomorrow, for Wednesday. Why did the bear feel he could catch more fish than the fox? Okay, yeah, it says something about that in the story. You're going to need to go find it. And then for Thursday, March 19th, let's look at what it's asking. What question about bears did the folktale answer? So let's see. What question about bears did the folktale answer? That may be something you need to talk out with mom or dad or brother or sister and see if you can figure out what question were they answering about bears. How did Mrs. Fox signal her husband to go along with her plan? Mrs. Fox, in that story, she gave her husband a signal, a sign to just go along with her plan. What was that signal? I remember it. You can go back and find it in there. Lord Tiger licked his lips. 5 children, you say? Based on the evidence, what is Lord Tiger planning to do? So this line here, it's in italics and it gives you the dialogue. It gives you a clue, it gives you some evidence about what Lord Tiger is planning to do. What do you think he's planning to do based on what it says right here, this first line? And then your last question, this is your last one for reading for the week. How did Lord Tiger feel when he realized he had been tricked? Support your answer with evidence from the text. You probably don't have enough room to fit that answer in here, so just flip it to the back and write it. So let's look at it again. How did Lord Tiger feel when he realized he'd been tricked? And it says support your answer with evidence from the text. That is where I'm going to want you to put something like, according to the text, or you could say, in the story, and then you can tell me what does it say, or you can say, the story states, any kind of sentence starter like that is how I'm going to want you to answer this. So tell me, how did Lord Tiger feel when he realized he'd been tricked? That's your first part. This is a 2-part question. Lord Tiger felt blah, 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 blah. No, we'll go away. And then you need the second part, support your answer with evidence. I know this because the text says this. According to the text, it says this, this, this. So this is a 2-part question. 2-part. Okay? All right. So those are all of your reading questions for this reading activity for the entire week. Again, if you need to hear the passages read again, go back to the video from day 1. It should say day 1 digital learning reading. And then for the rest of the week, if you're going to do a little bit per week, I'll put it in the title of this video that you can come back and listen to all the questions. If you are unsure, if your parents are not sure what to do, just message us and we will help you to the best of our ability. All right. If not, I will talk to you guys very soon. Good luck.